Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2021. The album, Dad, AF, Rock On! You know, when I was a little kid, I used to have a baton, and I would like stand out on the street, and I could do all these baton tricks. I could throw it up in the air real high and all kind of stuff. And I wanted to be like the baton girl in the marching band. Do you know what I'm saying? I so did. You know what I mean? So I think this summer, on top of my roller skates, I'm going to get a baton, one of those sparkly batons, you know? Family friendly. I'm going to get one of those sparkly batons that has the tinsel on the end of it, and then I'm going to go down the street on my roller skates to Donna Summer's Hot Stuff. Looking for some hot stuff, baby, this evening. And they will look at me and they'll be like, oh my God, he's too much. And I'll say, exactly, always be too much. Gold Dust Woman! Boost! That was an intro for those of you out there that like to go along with my... They're like, I'm trying to say the words with him. What happened? Anyway, how are you guys doing today? Happy Thursday. Can you believe that it is almost February 1st? I can't even believe it. It's like, whoo, winter is going by like this. Anyway, let me have a sip of my coffee real quick. I just went over to Starbucks and got my coffee, but in the parking lot, I reviewed Mountain Dew Major Melon. I also reviewed the Fruity Pebbles candy bar, because people say I'm a little fruity sometimes. I can't imagine why they would think that. And then I also reviewed the Oreo Most stuff. It's like a triple-decker Oreo. So go check that out on my review channel. I've been having so much fun the last couple days. Yesterday, I filmed a video for every single one of my channels, all 6 of my channels, and I had a blast. I made bubblegum iced tea on the go for my Peter Does Stuff channel. I just want to say thank you to all of you that have been subscribing over there and have just like, I love that channel. I love all of my channels because they kind of, each one does something different for me. You know, it's like my booktube channel is like my passion. My blog is like my heartstone, like I always say. I have so much fun over here just kind of sharing my opinion about things and my Peterisms. And I try to make people laugh over here too. You know, my Peterisms channel is just where I get to like kind of sit down and read meditations. You know, like it's kind of like me talking to one of my good sober friends. And then, of course, my review channel, I just have a blast over there. So thank you so much for supporting that. And I just want to say to all of you new subscribers over here, welcome aboard. Welcome to the Wolf Pack. That's all of us over here just trying to get through life one day at a time. And I'm really happy that you guys have chosen to subscribe. And to all of those of you, to all of those of you who have been, I don't edit if you're new. Did you not get that? Okay, I don't edit. So to all, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares about the fancy editing over here. Y'all are here to hear what I have to say. So what I have to say is, to all of you out there that have been around for a long time, some of you literally since my very first video on this channel, on my vlog channel and stuff, I just want to say thank you for sticking around. It really means a lot to me. You know, people have continued to buy cameos since after Christmas. It just keeps on going. I couldn't believe it. And so many people keep on buying merch, and I just want to say thank you so much. Like, you have literally made my dreams come true, and I just want to say thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you out there. So, all right, let's get into today's video. Today's video, I am going to talk about Ryland Adams and some very interesting information that came out that was sent to me last night. I also want to talk about Garrett and Andrew and how they kind of factor into all of this, because people are starting to question, well, are Garrett and Andrew implicit in all of this stuff that's been going on, and why do they get a free pass and all of that kind of stuff? So I think it's kind of a pertinent question, and I want to talk about that. But before I do, I want to talk about Laura Lee for a second. Laura Lee came out in a video today, and she shared that she had lost her mother recently due to COVID. And I was just so blown away by her authenticity and her just ability to be so genuine in this video. And I want to first send my condolences to Laura and her family. I can't even imagine. And, you know, I wanted to say this about the video. First of all, I think for anybody grieving or having grieved, it's such a fantastic video. It really is. Like, she really made me think, like, so if you don't know my story, my mom passed away 13 years ago. And I was able to have, like, a last conversation with my mother. And she was actually in an induced coma 2 months before she passed away. So I had a lot of time to kind of get used to the idea that my mom probably wasn't going to be there. But, you know, Laura said something in her video, and then she kind of put a caption underneath it. Because I think she, like, kind of felt bad for what she said. But she said, you know, something to the effect perspective when you lose somebody quickly in a devastating way. And, you know, I think there is a difference. I honestly really, really do. And I'm not taking away from anybody's pain or anything like that. But, you know, I have had friends of mine that literally lost their mothers and their fathers that quickly. And there is something completely different about it. Do I think the grieving or the pain is any less or any more? No, I don't believe that. But I do believe that the process that you go through is very different. And, you know, it just broke my heart watching this video. And I will tell you one thing. And this is not just to Laura, but Laura, if you're listening, this is, you know, to Laura, to anybody else, because she talks in there a lot about she wants to make videos and, you know, that's her creative response to things when she's going through something is to kind of cathartically put it all together. One of the things I have learned about grieving is there are no rules to grieving, okay? And you have to do what feels good to you in your heart, and don't explain that to anybody. You don't have to explain that to anybody else, you know? What you're going through, what you're feeling in your heart is what you have to do. I was very, very numb for a long time after my mom passed away, and, you know, I think each of us has to do what feels right to us. And if it feels right to Laura to film a video every single day, for her to keep on putting one foot in front of the other, you got to do that, you know? You got to do that. And I just want to wish her the best and wish her family the best as well. And I think during these difficult times to surround, you know, each other with love and compassion, I think, in situations like that, I think is really, really important. So I just want to say, Laura, I'm so sorry for the loss of your mom. And I'm wishing you and your family all the best through these difficult times. So anyway, all right, let's, and Laura's video is up, so, you know, you guys can tweet her or something and, you know, send her some love as well. I'm sure that she would really, really appreciate that. All right, let's get into today's video about Ryland Adams. So this was interesting to me. So I made a video yesterday. Let me put on my lip gloss. It's shining in the night a little bit. There's like no right lighting in here, because if I turn on the overhead lights in here, it's like it casts all these shadows. If I turn the light off, like it's off right now, it casts all these shadows. It is 6:42 at night, so it's completely pitch dark outside, right? There's no right lighting in here, and I am not technological, and I don't have a studio. So this is what you get. You get the old days of Glozell Green sitting in the lights of the computer. You know what I mean? And I loved her so much back then. I still love Glozell Green. But you know, like that's what you get, okay? You get really cheap, unedited videos. But listen, I'm going to sit down for 30 minutes and I'm just going to tell you how it is, okay? I'm one take is what you get over here. Okay, so let's get into this thing about Ryland. Hold on a second. I want to give a shout out because I was sent to this not by one person, not by two people. No, I was sent it by just one person. Only one. I was kind of surprised. Anyway, hold on a second. Where is it at? Okay, I had to turn the camera off because I had to look for the receipt because I wanted to give a shout out to Kelly, the receipts, Kelly, for sending this to me last night, because I would never have seen this otherwise, so thank you, Kelly, for sending it to me, and I think it's very interesting. So this is in reference to Ryland Adams turning off the comments on his podcast, which if you watch his podcast, his most recent podcast, he talked in there about why he had disabled comments, which I want to say really quickly was interesting because when I was thinking about this later, it was interesting that Lizzie was like, yeah, I was reading the comments and then all of a sudden you just like turned them off, right? You know, what that says is Ryland's in control of this podcast. It's not Lizzie as his partner. It's like Ryland's podcast and Lizzie just gets to kind of sit in on it, you know? Which I thought that was rather interesting. It's kind of like when I made the comment about the thumbnails a long time ago, and I said, if you look at the thumbnails, it's Ryland right up here and Lizzie way back here. And you know what? Miraculously, the very next thumbnail, it changed. And then they both were equal partners. I thought that was really interesting. I'm just saying, I thought that sudden change was very, very interesting. So what that does say is, do I believe that myself and others brought it to Ryland's attention that the thumbnails were like not showing Lizzie as an equal partner? Yeah, and I think he learned from that, and I think he realized, wow, like I want Lizzie to feel part of this as well. That says that Ryland does learn, okay, from what people say. So to go in and turn off the comments because he said that the internet is giving him a lot of like negativity right now and blah, blah, blah. And it's just, he doesn't want to see it. He just doesn't want to see it. And so he turned them off, and like down the road, this is not a forever thing, he said, okay? That down the road, that, I don't know why that cracked me up so bad when he said forever thing. It's kind of like when people talk about their like forever partner or their forever home. I don't know why, it just kind of sounded like that. Love tank, that's what, I hate that word, love tank. I've probably used it before, but I don't like it. It always reminds me of Vicky from The Real Housewives of Orange County. But anyway, he said that this is not a forever thing, that they'll turn the comments on down the road. But for right now, he just doesn't want to see it. Okay, now here's my issue with this, right? I understand in a really, like, difficult video that you're coming out and you're sharing some difficult stuff, right, about your own personal life or whatever, that maybe you would turn off the comments. I totally understand that. And I said it the other day in my video, and I stand by that today, that, like, you know, to have people come in and troll and say really hurtful things, you know, like on a situation like that, I totally understand why you would turn off the comments. I do believe that there are times and places to turn off the comments on YouTube, okay? But to have a podcast where you are a self-proclaimed hot topic podcast, and you come out in said podcast and you say, you come out in said podcast and say, well, we're a hot topic podcast, and since I'm the hot topic, I guess we better address it. And then you address it the way that you think is best, and everybody says, oh, no, Ryland. Even your fans are saying to you, this wasn't it, okay? And you don't like what they have to say to you, then you disable the comments, okay? That's my issue with it. Because what it shows is, I'm not willing to hear what anybody else has to say to me, okay? So the comments are disabled, on and on and on. I thought that was really interesting. Well, Kelly sent me that from Ryland Adams' community tab, okay, that he actually posted the video of the SIP. The SIP has its own channel, but on his Ryland Adams channel on YouTube, on the community tab, he posted the video and put our first fight on camera and linked it, right? And he left the comments enabled, which was interesting to me, okay? Unless he doesn't go over to his community tab and read what he, you know, what the comments are or anything over there, because I can tell you, the comments are not kind, all right? So, I mean, they're not like ruthless or anything, but they're kind of like, this is not it. So let's go in and read some of these comments that are on the community tab, okay? Let's see. It's the turning off the comments at such a convenient time. Why would you turn off content or comments? Your only engagement with fans of your content. Honestly, A for effort, you and Shane really had everyone fooled, but now everybody knows you're a snake. Ryland is me, explaining why he turned the comments off. So selfish, not an ounce of empathy. If you're going to have a tea podcast, you can't hide your head in the ground when tea is coming at you. Be a grown-up and leave the comments on. If you don't want to read them, just don't read them. Sis, turning off comments is not taking a break from social media. You're just silencing people. Let's see. Forgot to turn off the comments over here. Ryland is responding to this jokingly. You wouldn't have to turn off the comments and hide from the public if you just apologize. Oh, that's what they're saying to him. Okay. Is it because... literally making this look so much worse by not addressing it. Oh my God, Ryland, no one cares. Someone said, I've never seen someone go out as bad as Shane. All this hiding is so embarrassing. Bestie, not this. And so that's a fan of you know, Ryland saying this. No, thank you. Luke's even guiltier because he deleted an episode. Basically, Trisha is now in his position. Someone said, flop, you can keep it. Not this being on my recommended. Ryland, stop turning off comments and drowning out valid criticism. Mislabeling everyone's criticism as hate because you misinterpret it and let comments dictate your life just shows how immature and ignorant you can be and how unwilling you are to understand your impacts on others. Someone said, where's the weasel emoji? Someone said, I love Ethan and Trish. Someone said, turns off comments because the truth hurts. Someone said, don't have a podcast and place them on social media if you don't want feedback, like WTF. Someone said, look at them hiding like cowards. Someone said, you should tell Shane to speak out about what's going on and make an apology video or something. Someone said, then they said your apology was crap and you guys need to do something better. Someone said, it's just so freaking sad, Ryland. Shane already lost our respect from viewers, but you seem like decent and smart person. WTF is happening. Someone said, again, not addressing what's going on. I don't understand why you lied. I mean, it's literally every single comment, you guys. Someone said, here before comments are disabled. And I don't think the comments are really that mean. I mean, I don't think they're really, I mean, honestly, I've seen hate comments before in my life. This is not really that bad. Someone said, we want Shane to come out and address this. I'm a fan of Shane, but far out, okay, get your butt out of the shadows and clean up this mess. Clickbait as usual. Ryland is living off of Shane's fame. Okay, this reminded me to subscribe. It goes on and on and on. A clown emoji. Someone said, it is unfortunate because I love Lizzie and was introduced to her by this podcast, but I'm not going to support it because Ryland and Shane are not it anymore. Someone said, I don't want to listen to negativity because I like who I am and don't want others' opinions to sway who I am, otherwise known as I'm not open to bettering myself or taking on board what people are saying. Ignorance is bliss. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Turning off your comments is like telling your viewers to shut up. Without us, you wouldn't be where you are. Accept the criticism and do better. I think it's interesting, you know? I mean, in all honesty, like, okay, if you're a level-minded person out there, not just somebody that stands and fans over these people and literally would do anything for them, even though they have no clue who you are, just remember that, okay? Do you think this is a hate comment? Turning off your comments is like telling your viewers to shut up. Without us, you wouldn't be where you are. Accept the criticism and do better. No, I think that that's actually 100% accurate. I think that statement is the truth, you know? I don't think that's a hate comment. I don't. And so to say that all of this is hate, well, you left your comments open. There they are. I don't know. Maybe he's deleting some of those comments. Maybe it's you know, we're only seeing a certain part of it, but I have to believe that's probably not true. Do you think it is? I don't know. Anyway, so let me know what you think about all of that in the comment section below. Do you think that he should leave the comments open? Do you think it doesn't matter at this point? Are you just done? Do you not care? I will say, I think it's rather interesting when you go over and you look at the SIP. You know, I think that at first people really wanted to get behind the SIP and like it. But at this point, I mean, the video from yesterday has 138,000 views. It's not pulling views. I mean, people aren't really watching it. You know, a week ago, the one that I talked about, Trisha, it got 388,000 views. That's not horrible views. 412,000 views, 300, it's getting, you know, over about a week, it's getting about 400,000 views. So I think it's interesting. I mean, do you think that the views will start going down if something doesn't come out? I think that Ryland probably is in a position where, like, I mean, I really do not, this is the thing, I do not believe that Ryland and Shane think that they did anything wrong. I don't think Shane thinks he did anything wrong, and I think Ryland is supportive of that, okay, as his partner, right? So it's like, what should they come out and do if they don't think that they did anything wrong? Like, I guess that's the question, you know? Do we want them to come out and give a BS apology? Or do we want them to come out and say, we don't think we did anything wrong, so you suck it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't want a BS apology. I want accountability. I want someone to sit there and say, wow, like, you know, I mean, even at this point, it's not just about all of the stuff from the past. It's like how Ryland handled this whole situation. I mean, it's just like now it's just kind of like the snowball effect is getting worse and worse and worse. And so I'm sure it's like, well, what are you going to do now that you're going to put out that's going to make everybody look even worse in this light, you know? So anyway, that's interesting. I wanted to go in and I wanted to address this Reddit thread that I saw on the Shane Dawson Reddit thread. It says, it's weird that people keep bringing up Garrett and Andrew on this sub. I get that they were once associated with Shane, but bringing them as a topic of discussion on here when it's not even relevant to Shane is unnecessary. Especially when people just want to criticize them. They also do have their own subs. There's really no need to bring them up unless it's something in relation to Shane. Other than that, we should stop associating them with him and let them be their own thing like they're trying to establish. And I agree with that 100%. But the thing is this, okay? And I think this is the underlying question that a lot of people want to know, and I really haven't even addressed it on my channel, is how are they implicated in all of this, okay? You know, when all of this stuff was going on, you know, and Shane was rising to the top and whatever he knows behind the scenes, no matter how he was treating people or whatever, was Drew part of that? Was Garrett part of that? I cannot keep these names straight. I'm like somebody's old grandma. Was Garrett part of that? Was Andrew part of that? I mean, Andrew literally was behind the scenes filming all of this. I mean, I've had so many people say to me that when Shane said to me in Las Vegas, you know, like, oh, and the thing about sociopaths is, and that Andrew laughed. They all laughed. The only person that didn't laugh was Garrett, because Garrett wasn't standing there, you know? So, yeah, Andrew, Shane, and Ryland all laughed about Trisha and Tana and Jake. They all laughed, right? So, are they implicated in that? Are they part of the problem? Okay, sure, I think so. Yeah, I mean, like, if they're going to laugh along with the joke, if they're going to make fun of Trisha Paytas or Tana Mojo or whoever, and then laugh as part of the, yeah, they are part of that, right? So then it makes you wonder, like, why have they distanced themselves from Shane if that is really the truth? Because, like, there was another thing on here that said, like, are they really not friends anymore? We don't know. We have no clue, right? It kind of makes me think that they're still civil and friendly with each other. they just don't work together. I mean, somebody said Shane doesn't have a project going on, so what would Andrew be filming for him, you know? And now Andrew's gone on to do his own thing because I think he's like, well, I've got to have some, you know, form of income, and I want to do something creative, so what can I do? Garrett and I get along really well. I mean, it's kind of like sometimes the simplest answer is the answer. Like, they're probably all still fine with each other to some degree. It's what I have to believe, okay? Because they haven't really come out and said anything, but Garrett has kind of said things here and there and whatever. I don't believe that they'll come out and make a statement. I really don't. And I think that that's kind of for them a way to preserve some kind of class and integrity in this situation where they know that it's probably not going to look great if people find out that all of them together, when they were doing haunted houses and these videos with Shane and all this kind of stuff, that they were all kind of talking about people and laughing about people, okay? Then maybe they're not such the sweet boys anymore if that's the case. So the best case scenario would be for them to completely distance themselves from Shane and Ryland, let everybody just kind of guess what's going on behind the scenes, and then it just move on and move on and move on, and then down the road people just won't associate them with them at all because they'll have their own thing, right? And I think that's probably a lot of what's going on. I really don't think it's as deep as people think it is. I just don't. But, you know, it's interesting. Like, I mean, Andrew was there for all of it. Andrew was filming Dramageddon. He was filming the stuff with Tati. He was filming them watching the Bi Sisters video, okay? He was filming everything that happened at that time. And I'm not saying that he's part of it or he's responsible because of that, because I don't think that him doing that necessarily makes it. But it makes you wonder, like, what kind of conversations did he and Shane have, or, you know, whatever. So when people say, is he part of this? Why does he get a free pass? I do understand why people are saying that. But you know what? Unless Andrew comes out and talks about it, we'll never know. Like, that's the thing, right? And I think Andrew is choosing not to. So, I don't know. I mean, I will say that in my conversations with them, Andrew didn't say anything about these people. He just kind of laughed. But he wasn't like the one. I mean, it was Shane saying these things. So Ryland didn't say anything either. Ryland just sat there and laid on the floor and just kind of laughed at things and whatever. So, you know. I will say this, though, and I said this at the time that I met them, Ryland's very smart. Like, this kind of funny ha-ha kind of thing that he plays off, like, I cued in very quickly to Ryland, and I think I even said this at that time, I cued in very quickly at that time that Ryland is very sharp. Like, Ryland really gets it. So this kind of, like, I don't even know that I would call it, like, you know when you have somebody that you know that's kind of like, playful and all that kind of stuff, but then they're kind of put in a difficult situation and you see like this business person come forward and go, okay, now listen, okay, fun and games are over and we're going to address this and we're going to address this in the way that it needs to be addressed. I think that's what's happening with Ryland, and people don't know what to do with that. It's like, okay, this is kind of a character, this fun and games, funny, that's kind of a character. I mean, it would make sense then that why he and Shane get along, right? So he's this kind of character, and then when it's time to address something, I mean, I watched back that sip where he talks about Trisha in there. Like, he's ready. I mean, that was a point that he knew that he needed to address, and then it's time to move on. We're off to the next subject, okay? There was no emotion in there whatsoever. And when Trisha said he had dead eyes, I went back and watched it. It's like, yeah, he was mad that he had to deal with that. He was mad that he had to address it. Like, that's what I got from all of that. So anyway, let's go in here, and I wanted to see what everybody had to say about this. Someone said, I agree, they were sucked in by a toxic friend, cut them some slack. Someone said, on the flip side, no one would know who they were if it were not for Shane, and Shane really exploited the squad for views and was pretty shameless, like in the palette series, how he was saying, wait, Garrett has not seen the conspiracy palette yet, when they had not been getting together while Shane was working with Jeffrey. Someone said, yeah, personally, all of my posts about them are defending them because, yes, they are not perfect, but I get why they laughed at Shane's bad jokes. Can somebody explain that to me? You know, I think sometimes, like, you know, when you know better, you can do better. Like, I'm also of the belief, my friend Tanya and I talk about this all the time. She always says this to me, because it's like if I say in a video one thing and 3 days later I say something else, I get a lot of people that are like, well, you said this 3 days ago. My friend Tanya says this to me all the time. She's like, you're a human being and you have a right to change your opinion in 5 seconds. She's like, my opinion about things changes all the time. I might talk to one person and be like, oh, I totally see your side. Then talk to the other person and be like, oh, I totally see your side, you know? So opinions can change, you know? Maybe they hung out with Shane long enough and they thought that his sense of humor was funny, and then one day they're like, this isn't funny anymore. This is hurtful to people. People are getting hurt by this. We're getting hurt by this, you know? So maybe they changed their mind, you know? Do I think that we need to cut Garrett and Andrew some slack? Absolutely, I do. Do I think that they might be part of all of that? Sure. That doesn't mean that they haven't grown from it, you know? When you know better, you do better. Okay, so it goes on, and someone said laughing is complicit. Whether they were afraid of Shane, didn't want to start anything, etc., it still egged Shane on to continue this toxic behavior. Someone said, I just watched the Andrew and Garrett's podcast, and it's way more entertaining than Ryland. Okay, I'm not going to get into all that. They can't disassociate with Shane, help him be as big as he was, and then jump ship completely unless they directly speak out against him. I mean, they can do whatever they want, but I don't think it's, you know, a great look. Someone said, especially because Garrett and Andrew are trying to leave Shane behind, so people should respect that unless something new gets revealed about the situation. At least make a subreddit if you want to discuss them further. I think that's fair too. Someone said, I've seen threads talking about the Sweet Boys podcast not being that good or criticizing people who love Garrett Watts. Like, this is a shame. Okay, I love the Sweet Boys podcast. And that's not typically a podcast that I would like, but I think it's funny. At this point, I think the threads about them should be deleted unless they specifically relate to Shane. So, anyway, it goes on about the Reddit thread. What do you guys think about all that? What do you think about, do you think that Shane, do you think that Garrett and Andrew are part of all of this? I mean, I just want to know the truth. Like, you know, that, I'm not saying that we're deserving of it. I'm not saying that we'll ever get it. I just wonder what it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just wonder what the truth is behind the scenes. Like, where does their friendship lie today? That doesn't mean that we'll ever find out. But anyway, let me know what you think about that in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I do leave my comment section open. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.